Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I don't know how to affiliate myself. I'm an engineer, an entrepreneur. I'm with civil society. I advise my government, so I don't really know how I fit into this. But I first wanted really to congratulate because
you're a walking multi-stakeholder.
I think so. I don't know why I'm here, perhaps, but I think that this was really great, actually. So. Yes, there were some maybe practical shortcomings. Maybe, for example, there should be better ways for online participation. Maybe a less luxurious setting would have helped more ordinary people to come in. Maybe workshops, for example, should have more time for discussion and less time for presentations. These are just, random suggestions. But these are minor things. I think that in the end, this was a success because we actually met. Everyone in the beginning was wondering whether this would work or not, and I think this has worked. This has worked very well. So I think most of people, I think all people here are actually happy about this. Anyway, I just wanted to remind, however, that there are some parts of our mandate that still need to be implemented, and specifically, for example, Part G of the paragraph 72 of the Tunis agenda, which was agreed in Tunis, and which tells us that we do have to identify, not just to identify the issues, but also to make recommendations. There's other parts of our mandate that talk, for example, about assessing and embodying these principles in intergovernance processes. And I was a member of the WIG. I was one of the people thinking about this, and these were, since the beginning, very important parts of the mandate. I think that the reason why we're not doing it here in Athens is because it's too soon. We still have to understand how all of this works. At the same time, I think we can take it as a commitment to Rio that we find a way to implement them. And I wanted to reassure that the people in the room, I know that there are people in the room that think that we should not make recommendations or are afraid of the fact that we can actually have some agreed results, official results of these forums. I think that you have to understand that, first of all, we're not going to make decisions because there's no power here, so we have no power to bind anyone to make anything. The only thing we can do in a true internet spirit is to bring everyone at the same table and have an agreement. In the end, for the way that the internet works, the agreement is beneficial to all the people who participate in it. And that's the way the internet has been growing. Since the beginning, the technical standards of the internet were never decided, were never formally adopted, or are not binding either. They're just there, and everyone abides by them because it's beneficial to everyone to be able to talk to each other. And that's the practical result we can get in this forum. So I feel a bit like in Tunis we saw these uncharted waters, as someone else called them, and now we put our first foot in the water. And we have to decide whether we want to swim or not. And I think we should dare to swim. We should not be afraid and just stay on the beach. And the last point I wanted to make is a substantive point. I've already said about the work we are doing on the Bill of Rights. I want to stress it because I think it's symbolic of the value of this forum. I've heard many workshops talking about security and growth and business, which is fine. Actually, it's very important. But I think that the real important mandate of this forum is to build common grounds for the internet to grow and for the information society to grow. There's a desperate need in the world for people to start talking to each other, understanding each other, rather than confronting the one with the other, especially different parts of the world, different cultures. And I take this as a responsibility. We can actually build common ground. We can build the idea of the Bill of Rights is to build a minimum level of mutual understanding and respect that allows all of us to talk to each other. And I think this will be a huge contribution, not just to the internet, but to the world. And this is why I'm committed to this process, and I hope that the entire forum can commit to this process and to this idea, because I think it can really change the world in a way. And the last thing, I remember that when we started the work in the WIG, Kofi Annan told us to dare, to be creative, to be imaginative, not to be afraid. And I took that very seriously. I think this is really an important thing to do, and this is why I'm pushing these things that might seem maybe high level or maybe abstract, but I think they could be very important, much more important than other things we are doing here now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Miguel?